What's up, folks? What's up,
Hey,
Tramily?
everybody. Hi. We're coming to you in two separate places, as has happened previous.
Yeah.
Wesley is out in the field working. I'm at home with our muskie Loba, and we are super stoked for this episode. So I'm Basecamp.
We're all functioning on like 13% battery life, it feels like. We've all had really long weekends. Work is kicking everyone's butt, it feels like. And yeah, here we are though. So
And who are you?
If we stutter over some words or slip up, just enjoy the laugh. We're here for the ride too. I'm Yeti Legs, and this is our podcast. Yeti
walks into Basecamp.
Talking.
Oh,
hiking.
We still haven't gotten that down.
We still haven't gotten the timing down. Not at all. Oh my gosh. Well, this installation of our podcast is going to be coming in between the last few episodes of our PCT saga. So after this one comes out, we should only have like 2.5 more episodes to release. And then that'll be the end of a 3-year-long stretch of episodes. That feels like forever, doesn't it?
It's taken us longer to tell our PCT story than to actually do the damn trail.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
I think we just want to drag it out. We want to keep holding on to the memories. And I don't know.
That's what we've been doing.
We need to move on, though.
We should.
It's time to move on, isn't it?
It's time to move on, and it's time to grab like a half liter of water, pour it into your RecPak pouch, and energize yourself for this episode. Because today we are speaking with Joy Seward of RecPak. Joy, thanks for being on our podcast today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
You go.
No, you go.
This is so hard when we're separated because I can feel your energy beside me and know when you're about to ask a question. Now I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Joy, tell us your title at RecPak.
Yeah, I helped launch RecPak with Deed. And over on this side of the computer, I handle everything from marketing to organic growth to athlete and brand awareness to store sales to events. We're a pretty robust small team, so we all wear all the different hats all the time.
Which is pretty great. That's what we do too. Or at least we used to wear all the hats, and now we've dispersed a little bit, but
trying to delegate a little more.
Yeah.
So let me just kind of preface what RecPak is in my words as a thru hiker and an outdoors person. So RecPak is spelled RecPack, and please correct me if I'm wrong about any of this, Joy. But
you just misspelled it.
Yeah.
Did I just misspell it? There it is. Is it RecPac?
No. So it's really simple. It's RecPack RecPak. It's
so RecPack.
Yeah.
RecPak. No C with the K, no K with the C. So
we kept it really simple. So our logo is just 6 letters, top and bottom. Yeah.
Perfect. Super simple, which I love.
You nailed it.
The thing I love about RecPak, we've used them a couple times. We used it on a backpacking trip, and then I got to use it on the collegiate loop that I just completed yesterday. For those, this is we're recording this at the beginning of September, so I got to use it. And what I love about this product is it's honestly really lightweight for the calorie, like bang for buck thing, which as a thru hiker, you're always looking for calorie ratio to weight is a big, huge thing. And this is like a 6-ounce, cute little pack. And it's just packed full of all this nutrition, vitamins, calories, carbs, sugar, protein, and you literally put water in it. And what I love that we did this last time is I put hot water in it because it was really cold. It was like 30 something degrees when we woke up. And I was like, I want like a hot milkshake chocolate thing. And so we had it for breakfast before we did this massive climb on Hope Pass in Leadville, Colorado, to finish the collegiate loop through hike I'd been doing. So I was like, let's do hot water this time. And man, oh man, I loved the hot water. That just made it taste so creamy. And when you put the water in this thing, you shake it like crazy, shake it like a Polaroid picture. And then you drink it, and it's this creamy milkshake thing going on that is, honestly, I chugged it. It's very easy to chug. And I love also, depending on, they have little notes in the back that tell you whether you like need to just drink it all that day or whether you can keep it and kind of disperse it through the day if you want to like say you're doing a climb and you need to disperse your calories to get up the climb. Like that's another thing I really like about it is you can put it in your side pocket in your backpack and pull it out and drink some more. And it's just a really, really easy, lightweight, very packable thing that I really think every backpacker, through hiker, even ultra runners need to look into because it's just so easy to take in, especially when your stomach can't handle like hard foods or solids. I really think this is a beautiful thing to turn to. And so that's my introduction of RecPak. Is I'm obsessed with the product. I'm super excited that we stumbled upon you guys, and we're definitely going to use your product on the Colorado Trail coming up next month. Like I wish I could have one for every single day. So we're like, it's just like having a bar, but it's all in liquid form, which I love. So,
well, they have like a cute little hole punch in the corner of the baggie, so we could just string them up from trees, just like, set little stations up for ourselves.
Yeah, set up stations.
Yeah. Anyways, Joy, I want your reputation to precede you before we ask you your explanation of what the heck RecPak is and what your little pouches of goodness are. But first of all, I know that if I was in the wilderness bleeding out, you could save me. So tell everyone a little bit about your background, what your like Knowles and backpacking experience is.
I could try to save you. I don't know about that.
Let's do it. Who are you?
I'm Joy. I used to be an expedition guide working for Knowles and various other outdoor education and guiding programs. I guess I should say used to. I still am, but am heavily focused on building RecPak at the moment. And because of that, my occupation took me out on these expeditions that would be anywhere from 2 weeks to 30 plus days in the wilderness. And you have to be completely self-sufficient with maybe some re-rations every 10 days. But other than that, you're pretty much out there relying on both your skills and your team to navigate and explore and learn and grow as a human and your technical skills. So I, for the past 5 years, had been taking various groups of students age out anywhere from 10 to 65 plus out on these expeditions. And we just saw this area of fatigue in my body after a while of not getting the proper nutrition, or I always called it the beige diet. It was a lot of beige. And we started with just putting protein powder in an Nalgene bottle and shaking up and drinking it. When you're getting ready for a 30-day expedition with a group of people that you're leading, you lay all your stuff out in the hotel the night before, and we just say, pack packets, run to the store, grab individual protein powder bags. Turns out Dee Ziegler, my work partner and colleague, was just doing the same thing when he was deployed in Afghanistan. And it's this whole needing being high nutritious, but trying to save weight, space, and time. And so going to a sports nutritionist with the protein powder in a Nalgene bottle and said, how can we make this a well-rounded meal with your proper fats and proteins and carbs and mineral and vitamin blends to it? And that's where RecPak grew from.
So it's been 5 years in the making? Is that what I'm hearing?
So we launched about 2.5, almost 3 years ago. Yeah, the product to scale. And before that, cool. Lots of dreams and growing and trying to come up with the actual product.
Of course. So, question on that: why a powder instead of a bar?
Well, I think that answer is pretty simple, and also it ties into why 700 calories. If you walk into a Whole Foods, you're going to have a whole aisle filled with bars, right? And bars are fine, but also the market has already exploded for that. And I think you can almost find all the different spectrum. So we knew when launching this company, we needed to stand out, and that bar calorie mark would be a hard one to compete with. We also wanted to make something that you could really rely on and count. Again, it's the convenience of a granola bar, but the nutritional value of a complete meal. So that's where we landed on that 700 calorie mark. But going back to your question about why not a bar, we're fighting weight with nutrition. That's the whole balance we're all trying to play in the outdoors. And two, sometimes bars, because your body needs to chew and then sit in your stomach process, you get a different release of energy. Versus this, it's a liquid, so your body can absorb it quickly, but then the fats and proteins around the carbs and sugar is going to be like a slow release of energy. And we pride ourselves because folks can consume such a high calorie amount and still utilize themselves at high intervals. And I think that's really goes back to the science of a liquid nutrition over the density of a bar when consuming your nutrition.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. We ran an ultra race back whenever we had first met, and I ate a large bowl of chocolate oatmeal before we ran the race. If I could go back in time and wish RecPak into existence before you ever existed, I would have fared a lot better with a RecPak instead of oatmeal.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Thank you.
I do think in ultra running, this is a really great tool to have, because when you're out there for, all day, all night, you're 50, 60 miles in, your stomach stops processing a lot of solids sometimes, and you're like, you can't really keep the calories going, and you just all of a sudden lock up and you can't finish the race. And so I think RecPak's a really helpful tool to get out there for ultra runners that, like, at night when it's midnight and you cannot keep down food, at least you can keep down liquids most of the time. And that'll be a really helpful tool for so many people that need it,
Yeah, we've had athletes who've compete, in the Cocodona Ultra, Cocodona 250. And, they're going out for 4 to 5 days. And so they're getting maybe 1 or 2 hours of sleep. But at those levels, it goes beyond just your simple carbs and sugars that you might find from your gels and your goos and your gummies. And at that point, athletes have to start figuring out, where am I getting my fat and carbs in, and how easy is my body able to handle it. So we've seen athletes at that level do everything from having a RecPak from an aid station, or because it's so light and maybe they're running in more of a remote setting, they'll keep it in their bag and then have a filter and just put water into it. Or it's cool, people have been, like John Kelly just ran the Appalachian Trail. And it was insane what he was trying to pull off. And he had RecPak every night before he slept 3 hours and then got back up and ran the whole thing. And then one thing is with a backtrack, I know you used it with hot water. And I just want to make sure users know that you don't need a stove. You don't need hot water to activate the product. It's awesome with hot water. I teach avalanche courses and I love the warm RecPak. And the whole idea is it's super convenient. You just need cold water, purified, add it, shake and go. So it's the convenience of a snack, but nutritional profile of a complete meal.
I love that.
Yes, thanks for that call out. Because yes, we did, the first time we did it was with cold water on a very hot day before a climb, and it was perfect. And then I was like, ooh, because I read the back and it said something about or the front it says any temps of water. And I told Wes, I was like, oh, it's like 30 something degrees out here. I think we should do warm water for this one and see what happens. And it was perfect, because it was like, just, in the early mornings when it's freezing, having hot is so welcoming and helpful. But also on a hot day, having cold is exactly what you want, which is the other thing is I love that about the RecPak, is you can do cold or you can do hot water. It doesn't matter. And it's really up to what temperature is going on outside as well. So yes, thanks for that call out. So you guys have been you officially then like LLC'd this thing 2 years ago. What year was it?
Oh, that we branded. Oh, I don't know. I barely know what day it is right now. But yeah, let me think about this. 2022 in the fall, we brought it to market, or like placed the first inventory order, and then had the product and started growing the branding and growing our athletes and, just educating the public about this new solution to nutrition.
Awesome.
Nice. And question on the fat. You get the fat in these RecPaks from coconut milk fat, right?
Yeah, some of that is. We also use flax seeds, a whey protein isolate, and there's not one single source to any of the nutritional value. Whey protein isolate, whole oat flour, the whole 9 yards. But yeah, that definitely is one of the main sources.
Sure. Doing a lot of expeditions in the backcountry, especially during winter. I'm sure you've heard of the old butter and brown sugar meal.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
is a bit more nutritious than that one.
Yeah, we used to do that, and then we put like hot chocolate and peanut butter in, especially
oh my God.
If I had students that were going into like close to hypothermia just to get a ton of calories in them. But now all you need is a RecPak and you're fine.
That's pretty sweet.
Dude, I think it's so cool how much you know about the body based off of all of the experience you have being out there and seeing some wild things happen. And so I love that this product is coming from people that actually know what we need when we're out there doing these high intense activities.
Thank you. Yeah, if you add up all the time I've spent teaching students in the outdoors, it's over 1.5 years of my life out in the wilderness straight. Thank goodness it wasn't straight. I had breaks in between, but it does add up.
But still, that's crazy.
Whoa. That's a lot. That's amazing.
I know it's taboo to ask, a gal her age. How old are you?
Oh, I'm 28.
God.
No way. You've done so much in your life already in your 20s. Congratulations.
I have so much more to do, but
don't
we're getting started.
Shoot, I'm about to be 38 this November, and I feel ancient over here, let me tell you.
I keep telling him he's not, but he...
No, you're probably so much wiser and have so much more experience under your belt than most of us in our 20s.
I don't know if wise is the right word, but sure.
I think what you learn when you hit your mid-30s is that you don't know anything. I feel like I'm going back to square one, and I'm realizing, I guess it doesn't actually, I have drive, but it doesn't matter as much as it used to. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, because I've hit like a pretty pivotal part of my career now where I'm like doing really well, and it took me 13 years to get here, and I'm finally here. And then now I'm to the age, I'm like, well, is it everything I want? Like now, what's more important, and what do I really want to do with my life, and what's the quality of life now versus the professional career, as weird as that sounds, but yeah.
All the existential questions in life that come to us. Yeah. But I always think you can always step back or always step to the side in what you choose. I was, full-time in expedition mode, and this is my first summer not in any expeditions. And it feels great for this chapter in life. And I also contemplate that when I'm at a computer all day, and I can always go back, or shut one door and open the other.
Sure.
That's amazing.
Do you have any dogs or cats?
No, I can't have any animals with my lifestyle.
I travel figured.
I wish, but absolutely not.
That's fair. I was just thinking about taking our Malamute Husky out in the winter like that. I don't know if she would thrive or just crash and burn.
I feel like she'd love it.
If they had a
yeah. Yeah, she'd be probably like, this is what I was made for.
Most likely.
Yeah. I took her. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I feel like this season we've interviewed a lot of badass females. Do you feel like we've been on that track?
I think so. Yeah. We're trying to find more badass females because we feel like you guys are out there, but we just don't know. I don't know.
Well,
It's
I
a whole
can
thing.
introduce you to all my friends and you'll have enough to keep you company.
I'm
Amazing.
sure. Please
It's
do.
just, yeah, I've talked to Wesley about this. Like, I still live in a man's world in the world that I live in film, but women are starting to become more and more in influential positions, which is really cool to see. But I want to see like men and women working together and us both being able to utilize our brains and the way that we're good and gifted at what we are. And why does it have to be male or female? Like, why
Yeah.
can't we just be human beings and be really talented at what we do? But I do love actually that you and can you say his name again? The other
Deed.
founder, Deed.
Yeah.
Deed. How do you spell it?
DED. And as someone who's dyslexic, love a simple name.
Yeah, Deed. So I love that you guys, both male and female, came together and you created this together.
Thank you.
All right. So RecPak, I know you have at least 2 flavors, but I think I've seen a third one.
Yeah, sorry. We have 3 flavors. It's chocolate, coffee, which does have caffeine, and then vanilla chai. And if you haven't tried all 3, we should make sure you do.
Ooh, we haven't tried coffee. We have chocolate and vanilla chai.
Awesome. We can change that.
So this is
I'm
a very
excited about
important
the coffee.
question. Have you tried all 3 with warm water? And if so, which one is the best?
I think vanilla chai, that's just my go-to. But I don't think it, I don't know, for me, it's all about what I'm doing and where I'm at and what I need it for, you know? But I'd say vanilla chai is pretty good with that.
Perfect.
I think I like the chocolate cold and hot. Vanilla chai I haven't tried hot yet. We tried it cold. I'm curious about the coffee one now. Very.
So all of these have the same baseline nutrition where it's like whey protein isolate and, pea protein and collagen, and then also whole oat flour. And then we add the flavoring to that mix. So that's why like the nutrition and the vitamins and minerals are all the same. So I always tell people you can always add instant coffee to it, or you can add dehydrated peanut butter, or you can mix it up or even if I'm doing expedition, maybe I'll add it to some granola, you can, or I had someone who adds it to coffee creamer, the world's your oyster in the product, and it's just you have the baselines all the same and you can add on top of it.
I don't know why I haven't thought of this yet. That's a great idea. Now the world is our oyster when we're out through hiking. Cause it's like when you're through hiking, it's like, I think it's very similar to expeditions in the way of just, you cannot take all the nutrition out there that you want or vitamins and minerals because of weight, or you can't get real food because of weight or real fruit or vegetables. But we have to get really creative on how we want something because it becomes every single day the same thing. And so you're like, how do I make something taste better? So when you just said that, I'm like, oh, there's so many things we can do with this. Like, I love the idea of the peanut butter, the dehydrated peanut butter. That would be so good.
That'd be clutch.
Now I'm like, oh, there's so many things we can do with this.
I've even had ultra runners or some people doing like long kayaking expeditions where they'll put it into their bladder of like a liter of water, which means it's just very diluted, and then you're able to drink 700 calories in a liter of water, which is just pretty mind-blowing. Some people in the like rowing and sail racing world have really got into us because of the whole convenience factor of not getting a sandwich wet and just putting a lid on it and keep going, So yeah, through hiking and mountaineering is where the product got its start, but it's been crazy to see all the steps it's grown in.
Yeah. And maybe you've tried this, but I was wondering, like, in the thru hiking community, they say that olive oil per ounce has the most calories. And I'm wondering if like putting some olive oil in one of these suckers and then taking a few swigs before you go to bed at night whenever it's kind of cold outside, if that would keep you really toasty. I feel
bet
like it would.
But It would, and I wonder, like, this, it's a powder form, and the like convenience and beauty of it, it's powder until you add water weight, and then it transforms. So I don't know if you wanted to pre-mix it with olive oil. But it has some oils in it already, but just in the dry state.
Okay.
But
Shoot.
I think I'd rather recommend just folks having 2 RecPaks a day instead of swinging olive oil. But who knows what people want to get up to?
Shoot, I wouldn't pre-mix olive oil. I'd carry a whole bottle out there.
Wow.
I carry stupid stuff, like, just because.
He does sauces, just like bachan sauce, like a whole pound of it.
It's Japanese barbecue, yeah.
But no.
Whoa, that's impressive.
I know. I don't do it.
Well, thru hikers have a bit more luxury when it comes to stuff like that than, say, runners or, even folks on expeditions,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're kind of spoiled.
For someone who doesn't want to carry, I don't want to carry all that weight. I try to keep my entire pack to 25 pounds. That's including.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. That's including 5 days of food, with water too. So base weight trying to be 8 to 10 pounds. Cause I just can't do past 25. I start to feel it. And I'm like, I can't go and do as many miles as I want to do on a through hike. If I've got,
absolutely.
Yeah, super heavy weight. So that's why I was like, RecPak is like my game changer because I can put them in the sides of my pack and I can just pull them out for lunch. And that's like my lunch right there.
We have a partner, Miranda Goes Outside. She discovered us organically. She's a big YouTuber and through hiking influencer. She actually yesterday posted a video of her using a 7-pound pack for an overnight couple-day trip. And what I thought was really interesting that she did is she had one water bottle for just her regular water, and then she had a RecPak that she drank, and then she reused the bottle for her electrolyte mix, so she didn't have multiple bottles. And we actually have just changed the packaging. Again, I'm not sure when you guys got your meals, but the lid is now compatible with the Sawyer filter. So you can, drink your product, but then reuse the bag to put dirty water in it, put your Sawyer filter on, and then use it as the filter bag. Oh,
it's genius.
It really
very,
is.
very genius.
You found the niche.
Because this, I think, is very vital for our community that listens to this podcast to know what's available to them and knowing that this can be used as a duality. I think that's so important for through hikers to know because it's like, oh, I'm not just buying something that I'm going to throw away. I can reuse this. And we love reusing everything.
Well, yeah, our packaging's pretty durable and we wanted that so that it will last you if you're out mountaineering and you weren't going to scratch open your whole nutritional profile. However, it also means that we wanted there to be some sort of recyclable way. And as a small self-funded startup, we did that by changing the nozzle. So now you can drink your full RecPak and then reuse the packaging, to fill up dirty water in the river, screw on your Sawyer filter, and then it could be your bag to filter out the water. Folks have been getting really convenient with all the ways you can use the product.
Okay. Well, due in large part to the change in design, too, to make that mouthpiece fit that cap.
Thank you.
Yeah, honestly. Speaking of really well-known people / influencers, I saw a post today with Nick Fowler on it. Did he use RecPaks on his AZT FKT?
We love Nick.
How do you guys know Nick?
We interviewed him.
Oh, Nick is incredible, a very kind, dear soul. I'm not quite sure how I got connected to him. I'm sure it's through the internet, but yeah, he's used us to set some FKTs down on the Oregon coast. He just used us for his big Continental Divide trial. Maybe that was the PCT. It was the PCT, sorry. And yeah, he's an avid user of us. And he's also given it out to many people. So yeah, we just posted an article about him and have been super excited to support all his journeys.
Dude, isn't he amazing? And he's got a kid now. What?
Yeah, super kind man.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He doesn't like working with a lot of brands, so he says, because they're always demanding for content, media, and posting, and just we're super grateful that he believes in our product so much that he shouts it out and connects us to awesome people in the community.
Seriously, though. Cool. I wonder if Katra, do you know Katra Corbett?
I don't.
Dirt
Should I?
Diva. We should
Dirt
put you
Diva?
in touch with her. She's a high influencer in the ultra running world.
Oh, would love
And
that recommendation.
yeah, we should totally we'll put you in touch with her after this. She's absolutely everything she touches sparkles. Like she's
Oh,
amazing. But yeah, we ran into her on the PCT when we were coming down from Bishop Pass. She was actually running up it and it was at night. And I've followed her for years and fangirled her for years. And we'd had a really shitty day. And when we ran into her, I knew exactly who she was. And I was like, Dirt Diva. And then we actually became friends with her after that in Bishop. And she's just a sweetheart.
oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, I feel like she could utilize your product massively because she does a lot of the 240s, 250s. She does through hiking. She does ultra running. But yeah, Dirt Diva's iconic to me.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's been the best part about the job. I'm so lucky because I get to do partnership and brand building, do this stuff behind the computer, staring at tariffs and manufacturers and spreadsheets all day, which does drain me, but not as much as he does it. But yeah, all the incredible people we get to use our product has been, yeah, very, very crazy. You know, we went earlier, we talked about like the journey of life into our 20s and 30s and so on. And sometimes I'm like, okay, we're just building this brand. Where is it going? And then we meet people who utilize us. I just had a friend reach out because her dad has lung or throat cancer. And she's like, I just placed an order for RecPak. He's going to live off of this for 30 days. I was like, you're not buying that. We're going to send you a lifetime supply. But it's like a very incredible meeting people where they needed a niche to be able to support their adventures or higher quality of life in the outdoors. So yeah, please recommend me to anyone. I'd love to connect.
I'm going to share this story only because I feel like it's very relevant for this in this moment. But to get real deep, Joy.
Yeah, please.
But you just said something that triggered it. So my dad sadly passed away from melanoma cancer back in 2020. And man, oh man, I wish we had had this product. Because of the fact, you know, as people are dying or passing away, they cannot swallow or they can't take in food sources or solids anymore. And, you know, we were trying to make him smoothies and like juices. We juice all the time and just all these ways to try to get him nutrients. And it's just something that, man, to have something like this in a season where you don't have to think about making smoothies, making milkshakes, making juices for the person that you love that's fighting for their life, is such a gift to have. Like, this is a gift to so many people. And you just gave a whole new outlook to people that can buy this product that will not have to think about, what do I give my loved one who cannot swallow food right now? Or when you're really sick and you can't swallow food and you need the nutrients and you need the vitamins and you need all of these things. Like, thank you for coming up with a product that can help people not have to think about what someone would need when they're trying to be the caretaker. I think that's just really powerful that there is a product out there for that. So thank you.
No,
Just want to share
thanks for
that.
sharing that about your dad. And God, it's like the worst stage of life to run through. So I'm sorry you had to walk through that too. I
Thank you.
also lost my dad to melanoma a couple of years ago, and didn't have RecPak developed then, but I can definitely relate to what you just experienced. And yeah, always hard to go through, the realities of life. And thank goodness we have the backcountry to escape into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm also sorry that you've experienced that. Because do understand similar
Yeah.
in that with melanoma. It's a son of a bitch of a cancer.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, like we,
yeah.
we started the podcast off talking about ultra runners who can't eat when they're pushing their bodies to the limits, and then on the total opposite spectrum when folks um, can't eat due to and ailments, the product is able to
Mhm.
support both. So, was it our necessary intention? And it's been really beautiful to see how impactful it is across the whole spectrum.
Hmm.
It makes me excited though to be able to share it with people that aren't just our, our outdoorsy people, but even my family. Now that you said that, I'm like, oh, like if my family's sick, I should just like send them a rec pack and be like, hey, get this in your body because it's what you need.
Totally. Yeah. I always tell people it's not designed to sit on the couch and drink. It's an endurance power pack. Like we worked with a dietary sports nutritionist to come up with the formula. So when you look at the nutrition, it is, and I'm staring at the nutrition box right now, it's pretty high calories to carb to protein, made for when you're, pushing your body. And yeah, totally. If it is maybe a sickness in that case or in a 300-mile race.
Hmm. You know, I don't know why this just made me think of it, but you remember, Marie, on the PCT when we would get protein powder and like a little like orange juice bottle or a naked juice bottle, and we'd take it out there and like we'd mix our protein shakes at the end of the day to try and like replenish the protein and the fat to build our muscles up a little bit, especially after the Sierras. I
Oh,
wish we had
yeah.
had this then, because this is that,
Oh,
but
I know.
totally. Yeah, that's
watertight. Because
exactly it.
dude, the juice bottles would leak every single time, and you can't clean them.
Mm.
No.
I wish we had.
And I just remember after month 3, right? You're out there for
Mhm.
so long. I mean, we were out there for 6 months, but after like, I think the Sierras 2 or 3 months in, you could start to feel the depletion in your body. And like, I think I even started losing some of my eyesight. Like
Whoa.
my eyesight, not losing eyesight. I'm starting to see more double vision. Like it was from the PCT, something triggered because I didn't have certain vitamins out there, I think.
Whoa.
Because after we got back, like I went to the eye doctor because I was having issues, and it didn't start until we were on the PCT. And there's a lot of things that can happen when you're on a long through hike like that, where if you don't get enough vitamins and nutrition, your body starts to do things. And so we started to see results of that probably month 3 in, I would say. And a lot of people try to take fruit out there or
But
take
it's so
something else
hard.
out there, but it's so hard because you're pushing 25 miles a day, and you got to get past the snow, and you got to get past the fires, and you got to get past all these things. And so you're just pushing your body to a limit every single day. And so, yes, we started taking protein powder because we were like, what do we do with this? Because we aren't getting what we need out here, and our muscles are deteriorating versus getting stronger. And because we don't have protein. And so, we started to take protein powder out there.
Whoa.
But that's why I'm so stoked for this product, because like I put, just when I was finishing up the collegiate loop, I was like, I'm so excited we have these. 700 calories is like breakfast. And so I can put it in my side pocket beside my water bottle, and it can live there. It doesn't have to live in my backpack. I can easily, accessibly get it in and out of a place because of the way it's packable. And so that's why I'm obsessed and super excited for this product, because as thru hikers, when we're out there for like 6 months at a time, this is the first time I think we have something like this, where it's super lightweight, but also has all the calories and nutrition and vitamins and minerals that you need out there.
Yeah, I just counted it as you were chatting. It's over 26 different vitamins and minerals, from vitamin A, C, K, and E to your zinc and iodine and copper, B6 and B12. The whole idea was like, this is your base to nutrition, and then you can stack your ramen or Snickers or drink your olive oil out of a water bottle, whatever else you need, but you have a solid base so that after, a month of going, or a week of high exercise, or a 5-day ultra run, you're not wearing out the tank. That like the baseline's still grinding, the oil's still moving, and then you can stack whatever else is on. So we just wanted people not to have to compromise on nutrition when it came to convenience in the outdoors. So thanks guys for believing in it. I really appreciate it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now I have a question that might get a little nerdy. So we all know water freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit, but whenever you add solutes to water, it can tweak the freezing point. How cold can I mix up cold water in one of these things before it freezes on me?
Yeah, good question. I am out in the Tetons. I like to say I'm skiing my face off in the winters, and I haven't had it freeze on me, and I'm out in, oh my goodness, very cold temperatures, doing a ski tour and utilizing it, and never once has it even like frozen on the cap. But maybe that's what I'll put on the work hours this year is I'll actually test exactly the freezing capabilities, but I'm not sure. I just know it works for what I'm doing, and if you add water the morning of, I haven't seen it freeze. Now, back when I was doing like backcountry ski expeditions, we'd pull a sled of gear, and that sled, I mean, everything would absolutely freeze if it was sitting in the sled because you're not touching it and it's not close to your body heat on your backpack. So I'm sure there's freezing levels that it could give you, but if it's in your backpack near your body, then I'm thinking you're going to be fine for the day, at least that I've seen. And it's not just backcountry skiing, it's been tested on Everest and Denali and the Himalayas, and I've never had people report back to me that they struggled with the frozen RecPak.
Thank you for calling it
Nice.
Denali and not McKinley.
Obviously.
Thank you.
Easy answer. Dude, what has been, I'm going to just ask this question, and what has been the two questions? What's been the scariest expedition you've ever done? And then the second question would be, what's the coolest expedition, like the one that's been the highlight for you expedition? So two.
I don't know. I don't actually have a lot of like mountains and valleys when it comes to like reflections looking back. I bet you can say the same of like you don't really remember pain. And you remember I remember anytime I laughed my face off, it's a pretty big high, or like some beautiful jaw-dropping moments are definitely out there. But I think all expeditions are made up of those. Sometimes there's sometimes where I like went to bed wet again, and I was like, "Okay, I'm really tired of like warming my clothes up in my sleeping bag. It's time to start moving on from this." Or cases where I've had really bad students that have been really hard to deal with, and like the human factor has been hard because you get a bunch of strangers on a trip, and unfortunately, sometimes the parents send the kids. Not often. Normally, the kids take a lot of initiative and pride in being on the trips, but sometimes you just get kids that are not. Anyways, that just like can sour the experience. So I have like memories looking back where I'm like, ugh, you couldn't pay me to go back there, and also times where like you could pay me nothing to go back there. So, but I think that's a really hard question to answer.
That's totally okay. I was just curious. It's interesting you said it's more the human component that can be more difficult than the elements or like the process of nature.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think the human factor could be a bigger, make it or break it in the case, right? Um, and as well as the classroom and where you are. I love the Absaroka Mountains. They're near Yellowstone. I've spent over 5 months horsepacking in there, and they're actually not like it's not like the winds, where the winds are just raw, dropping and gorgeous with all these bookshelves of granite rock. The Zorkas are like rolling hills and more like volcanic breakage, but like there's nothing like sitting in a field watching horses eat around you, or like we called it pony TV. That's pretty magical. So I don't know. There's all these little moments that like really add up to a place to make it special.
What's well, I guess one, have you ever done a through hike? And if not, like, what's the longest backpacking trip you've been on? Because our audience is largely backpackers and through hikers, but everybody dabbles in other stuff too. So I'm sure everyone will want to
Totally.
know.
Yeah, I was working on the PCT down in like the Kennedy Meadows area for a month with students, and through hikers kept on passing me. And me and my colleagues kept on joking because we're like, we're getting paid to do what they're doing. And I'm just joking. So
And
no,
they're paying out.
exactly. No, I've never through hiked, and maybe there'll be a chapter when I jump into that. I've done the whole section of the winds. It was about a 30-day trip from south to north all the way through with backpacking students. And I think similar to like a through hike, you really get to see the landscape change over time. But also any month-long expedition, you're moving over 100 miles with horses. We easily cover 150 miles through a landscape. Though sometimes with students, we're just covering 60. It totally depends. Uh, but watching that landscape unfold and all the changes to elevations are pretty incredible, like you would get when you're through hiking.
Is there any trail that you feel like calls your name if you ever get the opportunity to through hike?
I think there's countries that I'm really interested in exploring the different fauna, like New Zealand, or I'm very drawn to Arctic travel. So, like going to Norway or something up there with the Arctic tundra, or like northern Alaska. But one day I'd like to become more of an ultra runner and be able to do like long days out through uh, like the Teton Crest Trail or sections of the winds and so on. But no, I've never had the drive. I think because of my occupation to become a through hiker, because we're doing backpacking, but it's as backpacking is a tool to both the classroom and the human development side of it. So I've never been drawn to, I just want to get rid of one side and do the other. But I'm sure I'll get restless and rusty and set back out there.
Well, if you're ever in Colorado and you want to do like the Collegiate Loop or the CT, both of those are really epic trails. And folks keep telling us that the CT is like mile for mile the most beautiful trail they've ever done. So
Wanted to backpack that. I've heard it's really hard, and also again seems phenomenal to backpack or to bike pack.
yes.
Oh, bike pack. Yeah. They're both, yeah, the CT is very common for that. I ran into a number of bike packers on the CT this last week.
Yeah, and whenever we say bike packing, folks, we mean with mountain bikes, because you can't just take a cute little cycling bike up there. Although they do have a lot of reroutes for the bikes that take you on roads, but still, I think whenever I did the CT in 22, I saw more bikers hike-a-biking than actually on their bike.
Oh, I believe that. I've heard it's very, very hard.
Yeah, and there was this one kid. You remember whenever we got to the north rim of the Grand Canyon and we went to that little like lodge area, we went and got like burgers and a beer, and the guy who served us the beer, we were talking about it and we had our packs on. He's like, "Oh, you must be doing the AZT." We're like, yeah. He's like, "It's been my dream to bike pack it."
Whoa.
And I'm like, "You mean bike pack rim to rim of the Grand Canyon?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "I would probably die if I tried that."
That sounds so hard. Do you guys have any big plans or big through hikes coming up in your horizon?
We do.
We do. We're doing the Colorado Trail next month, which of course everybody looks at us terrified because it starts snowing here.
I was wondering.
And
we've camped. We've done enough snow stuff.
Totally, I bet.
We're not skiers.
No, we'll do it full on, but I don't know. Colorado is so weird, for winter. We live in Breckenridge, and honestly, the snow doesn't really set in until November, typically.
It's so exciting, yeah. Why did you decide to do it in October versus the summer?
Timing.
Totally.
Yeah, my job is seasonal, and we have to really just pound out the field hours during the spring and summer. And then it's computer work basically the rest of the year.
Gotcha. So, okay, yeah. So that kind of prohibits you to be in that prime window for through hiking.
Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, I've done it before. She's gotten a taste of it with the CL. I gotta keep changing that. The Collegiate Loop. And yeah, we're just looking forward to seeing it in a different season. And we'll hit some prime leaf change coming up too.
Oh, I bet that would be beautiful.
Yeah. Have you started to get some leaf change up in, it sounds like you're in Wyoming?
Well, we call it Idaho. I live in Idaho, but my backyard's Wyoming. The border is bikeable, you know. Actually out on my little morning walk, the aspens are turning yellow, but over in
Uh-huh.
the park, they're still green as can be. So they'll change sooner than later.
Got you. Yeah, we've started to see a little bit of leaf change here, but the aspen and even some of the cottonwoods are just jumping from kind of like a really crisp yellow to a brown the next day, and I think it's largely due to drought. We've had a really dry summer.
Sure.
Except for this last week, we've just been getting basically dumped on. I'm sure y'all have gotten some of that storm front too.
Yeah, we got a little bit. Thank goodness. Everyone was dancing in the rain last week. It was awesome.
That's funny. Well, I wanted to ask you this question too. You do a lot of your work up in the Arctic Circle, it sounds like, or at least up in snowy regions. And I'm curious if you've seen any changes in those environments as you've, gone through your career in those areas.
Yeah, like change, like global warming and changes on the ecosystem.
Yeah, I would definitely use those terms. They're not taboo on this podcast.
Awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
even in the Tetons, my backyard, the glaciers are receding by 30 feet a year. So they'll be gone in
Wow.
about 20 to 30 years. So that definitely affects it. And then also in snow science, people are seeing a lot less annual drops in temperature, which also makes, and then more ranges, so spikes. And so because of that, we're seeing unstable snowpack, which is a snowpack that's not healing as quickly as normal, versus when people, my friends talk about when I first moved here, it stayed -40 for weeks, you know? So yeah, you don't have to travel far to experience the outdoors. Um, the outdoors does really well with slow, gradual change and it can adapt, but this rapid change is, yeah, always affecting our playgrounds.
We I got through with my degree about a half year ago. One of
Congratulations.
many. Yeah, thank you. But one of the topics that I thought was really interesting, we got into snow science a little bit, and the professor was talking about phosphorus dust on top of the snow and how that reduces the albedo effect, so the reflection of the sunlight back out into the atmosphere. Have you seen a lot of dark dust on the snows and the glacier areas that you've been to?
A little bit. I'm just thinking of the Tetons because that's where I'm working and playing right now. And they are gray when you look at them with binoculars. So yeah, definitely the dust picked up or the soot deposit and stuff. Or they can get this like red bacteria on them that also beats away the sun's UV. So yeah, it's pretty cool how nature tries to heal itself.
Definitely is. Hi, Marie.
Hi, sorry. My computer I thought was charging, but it was dying. So I had to plug. It's like about to literally completely implode. So I had to plug it up to an actual wall charger. I was charging it with my power bank and that wasn't working. So apologies. I had to walk away.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I heard you talking about snow melt. We, two things on that. We did the Tour de Mont Blanc right after the PCT, and we were just shocked how much the glaciers had melted. And then we go into Argentière, which is in France, and we go to this like pizza parlor. It was adorable. But the owner, he takes pity on us because it's 8 o'clock at night or 8:30 at night. And we had done like a 24 mile day that day to get into this town. We're trying to find somewhere to sleep. And he's like, "Oh, you're not going to find anything in this town." We're like, "Oh," he's like, "Well, you can stay here if you want. You can just crash in my pizza restaurant." So we do. But we start talking to him about glaciers and the snow melt. And he's like, oh yeah, it's insane from the time when I was a boy to now how fast the glaciers are melting, and it's very rapid. And it's wild to me, the idea of global warming, that people think this is political when it's just a fact. Like the fact that our glaciers are melting, that's a real fact that is happening. It shouldn't be political. It shouldn't be a religious thing. Like it really should just be the fact that we're all seeing this happening, and we're experiencing it. And that's one thing. And then the second thing is the Arizona trail we did it in winter, because this seems to be the only time we ever have. Like my career, I don't typically have film work in winter. And also with Wesley's, his seems to be during the summer times, for field biology or for work. And so winter seems to be when we have time to do trails. And we did the AZT and we documented it with camera stuff. And everybody was telling us that we were going to experience snow on the North Rim, or like in northern Arizona when we did it in December. And they were telling us like, yeah, you'll probably have like 1 or 2 feet of snow. We had nothing.
Oh.
And it was kind of creepy how we were literally walking through these areas and we're interviewing people and they're saying, yeah, we should have 2 feet of snow right now. And there's nothing on the ground. And Jacobs Lake, where that huge fire happened this summer, that was one of the areas that we were talking about. And they were saying how if we don't have snowpack, our fires are going to be really bad. And I don't think they got really any snow this last winter, did they? Like, if they did, it was like half a foot total in Arizona. And so we're already starting to see the effects of, a state that is really feeling the impact of drought right now. And I hate it because it's like, man, I love to be a positive person, but also I'm like, this is reality, y'all. Like, we need to talk about it, and we need to address what is happening to our planet, because it's crying out to us and it's crying for help. And what can we do to help it?
Yeah, well, I think more people that we can get outside, the better, to both inspire and then just cultivate love and recognition, like conservation. And conservation really matters to keep these places as pure as we can for the long run, to see what happens. So yeah, I mean, as an outdoor educator, I think it all starts with education and awareness, and you can only go from there.
Have you seen an uptick in, I guess, interest in outdoor activities since COVID?
There was a giant boom during COVID and the year afterwards. And, it just reflects with economy, and if folks have extra cash, right, to go out. I know like seasonal outdoor sales spiked drastically with COVID, and then, people already had their tent and sleeping bags. So then there was a lull for a while. And our product, a food product, it's a consumable, so people do repurchase it. So we don't always see that direct hand to hand with like long-term economic trends. But yeah, I think after COVID, there was an up and then also a down to it. And like everything, it's going to ebb and flow,
Yeah. Whenever you go on your long expeditions, say you're going on a 30-day expedition, how many RecPaks do you take with you?
That's a good question. It just totally depends. One of my best friends just kayaked he started in Washington and went all the way up to Alaska, 40-day kayaking mission. And I set him up with a RecPak a day. I was trying to join him, but it just didn't work out. And then for me, like I'll always have one for like an emergency if like a student needs it or something happens, or an 8-hour day turns to 18. But also on these expeditions, you're not. It's not the same endurance game. You're moving your body all day, but you're moving it at a very slow pace because it's with students. So sometimes I need a RecPak. Sometimes I don't know what I did the day. I just walked really slow. So it totally depends.
Totally.
I do want to ask, sorry, it's a little change in topic, and we can or cannot get into this, up to your discretion, but how do I even ask this question? has to do with tariffs. Because we've tried to ask, or not tried, we have asked our, our cottage companies that we love and adore and support, how this is impacting them,
Mm-hmm.
on their levels. And so I'm just curious, coming from a small business, have you seen any changes, or how does it impact you guys? What's happening this year?
Yeah, I can say thankfully and proudly we're a US based company, manufactured in the US and US made. So that's a huge weight and relief off our shoulders. However, some parts, like your packaging, does come across seas to get the materials, right? So that will spike us a little, but it's not unstabling like other brands. And so I can only speak to other people, and I think other people are figuring out because the tariffs are not set in stone, and it's kind of like a roller coaster. And you're like, okay, when's the roller coaster just keeping a solid speed for us to so we can calibrate to? Um, and I know with like bigger brands in the outdoor industry, uh, thankfully, a lot of times they have like product and warehouses that they can pull from, or they can mass order and then pause and pull from to kind of like lull it out, is what I heard from some folks. And then other small cottage brands are, directly have to play that into, can we absorb it? Does the buyer absorb it? Can we both absorb it? What will that look like? So I also was just at a brand event talking to reps and trying to get educated on what other companies are doing because of that. So we'll see. I think ultimately the cost, someone will have to absorb it. Most of the time will be the consumer. If it's a product bought in like retail, then it's going to be both the wholesaler and the retail that will both consume it, and then ultimately the buyer. So not the funnest topic, but we'll just see how it all plays out.
I know. I'm like, it always feels like a tricky topic to ask people, but I'm genuinely curious. Like, how do we help you guys? How do people support smaller businesses in this process too?
I mean, I think that's the name of the game, is find cottage started brands, follow them, get educated. I mean, we did, like the other day, we got mentioned on a podcast, and I only knew about it because a user emailed me and say, hey, tune into episode 106, minute 5, and you'll hear your product mentioned. It's like, they just took the time and were super thoughtful to let us know. And that, or people sending photos, or word of mouth sharing, all these things. There are, thankfully, big brands that have kind of lit the way in the industry and carved a path in the, freeze dried foods to backpacking space. And it's really cool that now there can be so much innovation and little guys coming behind them. So as a consumer, just keeping them on your radar.
Definitely. And on your package, you do the 1% for the planet. Would you explain what that is to folks listening?
Yeah, so again, I love working with Deed. I could imagine a better work partner. And when he started the company, it was very much values first and mission first before trying to profit and make it float. So one of the things we jumped on right away is giving back 1% of our total profits, or not total sales, not total profits. So 1% of our sales, we get to donate for 1% for the planet, which is a conservation initiative. And so that can go, it goes used in a number of ways. Actually, right out here in my backyard, it's used to restore sagebrush lands and take down barbed wire for migration paths to be free. We're also a part of the Access Fund and the American Alpine Association, and it's been awesome to team up with, brands and missions that directly support what our users are able to do with our products. Without wild places and without rock climbing areas and without people advocating for public lands, people wouldn't buy a RecPak to take it out there. So it's been awesome to be a part of that.
Good for y'all. We love hearing stuff like that. We work with this other company out of Durango. They're called Farm to Summit, and they use ugly produce to make their meals, and their packaging is biodegradable. So it's just really good to see people giving back to the planet that we all just want to go outside and enjoy,
Yeah, Farm to Summit's an awesome brand.
Oh, you know them? That's so cool.
Just a little bit, we're all in the same, we all smell the same.
We all stink.
Yep.
It's true.
Sorry, Loba started going nuts on me.
No,
Our dog.
I heard her. I don't know if you saw her little face pop up in the camera.
No, she seems super cute.
Sweet girl.
Yeah, she's a cutie pie.
Well,
No, I love. Oh, sorry. I just was quickly gonna say
go
I
ahead.
love the 1% for the planet and specifically what that's for you guys and what you know it's for. I love that. And the barbed wire. That's great. Taking down the barbed wire, give those animals the pathways they need.
Wait, do you have a lot of pronghorn out there?
We do. We have pronghorn and elk and bison and a lot of the large mammals out here.
Very nice.
You have grizzlies?
We do.
You have grizzlies in the Teton.
Grizzlies
That's what I thought,
and black bears and the moose. Yeah.
All the good stuff.
Yeah.
It's true. Everything that can kill you.
You know, out here, in the greater Yellowstone ecosystem, there's 22 million miles of land conserved for wildlife. It's just roads or highways that are intersecting. So you're able to have such large mammals. And, Yellowstone is just 2.2 million miles. Sorry, it's getting late for me. But all this land all encompassed makes for like such a big playground. And again, like right now it's September 2nd, so hunting season just opened up and folks are using our product to go out and, put dinner on the plate for the family for the next year. And it's only able to happen because of conservation efforts and, historians that saw the future of human development and put a pause to land being built up in this area.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, conservation's yes, like the coolest thing we have out here for sure.
Yeah. I feel like the second half of this episode has been an environmental corner, which is wonderful.
Yeah, we do this thing on all our episodes called the environmental corner to give awareness and understanding about where we're at in real time.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
So, yes.
Let's hope the roadless rule is.
Oh my God.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about it. It's so sad.
I know.
My heart is breaking. Yeah.
Do you want to educate your listeners on what that is?
The roadless rule?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's important to talk about or mention at least.
If you know like concrete information on it, then let's do it. I would need to look up information and read it off.
My basic understanding is there's national forests being threatened by development of roads that originally was, just designed to be staying national forests. We have this thing called the Wilderness Act. Actually, Marty Murie was one of the founders that pioneered it out in the Tetons. And so it's a level of like land management that you can think of it like a petri dish where it will be untouched for generations because it's under the Wilderness Act. But outside of that, we also still have our national forest and our BLM that even if it's not under protection from that purity of the Wilderness Act, it still can, you can't just throw a road right through it and extract resources. And right now with the current administration, places in Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming, and I'm sure a couple others I'm not mentioning, that's being up for debate because it's in the forestry zone. So it's a little gray area that can be swinged one way to one agenda or the other. But it breaks my heart, so I have not looked at it too in depth.
Yeah. And the problem with that is you would have all these roads installed, not only for habitat destruction, such as like mining or timber harvest, but when you start putting roads, I mean, of course you have people and you have motorized vehicles, which can either harm or deter animals, but those roads cut available habitat. It's called fragmenting habitat. And when you have larger charismatic animals like what you have up there in the Wyoming, Idaho area, bears tend to have really large home ranges. And if chunks of forest are bisected or cut up, then that habitat may no longer be viable for larger animals to live in. So that's when you have animal-human conflicts and all these other problems, just because people want to go out and, loot and plunder our forests a little bit more.
Yeah, well, I hope it doesn't happen. I hope, we saw when Senator Lee decided to put some public land for sale, all groups, whether you were left or right side of the voting spectrum, stood up and
Yeah.
said, heck no, don't touch our public lands. It's not for sale. So I hope
Yeah.
that folks get educated and the same sort of response happens to this initiative and people don't get fatigued for the next, couple of years we have ahead of ourselves.
Exactly. Don't check out. Stay informed. Stay tuned in, please.
But when you need to check out, go into the wilderness with the RecPak.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And it makes you appreciate it even more.
That's what I did the last 10 days. But I will say, actually, then that makes me wonder, how do we take action with the roadless rules so that anyone listening, what are the steps that we need to take? Do we need to call our senators, call our representatives? Like, what is it that we need to do? Is there a petition? I don't know enough about this because I literally I haven't really gotten on
changes
media
all the time depending on the swing in our administration and what's happening. So actually, if folks wanted to subscribe to or follow the RecPak's Instagram, we're part of Conservation for Alliance, and they'll have call to actions, whether that's writing someone or getting educated. And we will, when it becomes dire, spread the word on that. We also have an email that sometimes will update folks with, what's going on with your lands and so on, because I think it is a dynamic and it's not super easy to just jump on and this is what you have to do. I think you have to stay engaged, and thankfully, I don't know about y'all, but I work multiple jobs and have all these things going on. It's hard for me to stay involved, so I lean on organizations like Conservation Alliance, and we choose to donate to them for just that resource.
Yeah, for sure. That's really helpful to know, though, that RecPak does do kind of a call to action in this area. Like, I know Sierra Club, I like watching what they have to say too and everything. I don't know who else is. I'm blanking on the others, but
when it becomes dire, I think brands step up.
They do. Yeah. There was someone else that recently stepped up that I was not surprised, but I was like, oh, they're taking a stand. Who was it, Wesley? It was it wasn't Z-Packs, but it was some kind of brand like that.
Some big cottage
but it was
name.
a big cottage name. And I was like, I think it was Light AF maybe took a stand on what was going on. And I was really proud of them. It was Light AF. That's who it was.
Okay, it was. Yeah, I would say they should get full credit for they should get full credit for that.
Good for them, honestly.
Yeah.
It's frustrating when you see people, taking a stand and saying something, and folks will comment and be like, unfollowing. Like, oh my gosh, you unfollowed me. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I think definitely follow what RecPak, what Joy was saying there, follow their Instagram. And Joy, you do blogs on information like this too?
Yeah, we do have a blog and an email chain that goes out. Yeah, thanks for mentioning that.
So we'll put the links to all that in the show notes for this episode. And I'll also put a link to the Sierra Club's information. I'm looking at a Protect 60 Million Acres of National Forest call to action right now, where you can put your information in. Yeah. So find reputable sources of information to learn what you want to learn about and to take action, because a lot of sources will just ask you to donate money, which sometimes you need to, but not always. So we'll put some good links in there for you in the show notes, and hopefully we can all try and do our part to, stop the revocation of the roadless rule.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And also, to put this here, I feel like we're wrapping up now, but for all of our listeners, RecPak has been gracious enough to give us a discount code for you guys so that you can try out this product, see how you like it for yourself. I know we've been talking about it, but what I love about this is you now can try it yourself and see if you like it. I would love for our listeners, our Tramily, to get this product in your hands. And then I want you to post pictures on Instagram, tag us, tag them, I want to hear how much you think of this product too. You can email us as well. I want to know what you guys think of this because I think it's pretty groundbreaking for us for backpacking and ultra running. But I want to hear from our listeners as well once you buy this product and tell us what you think of it. So our discount code is
Adventure 25, and it's going to get you 25% off of your entire purchase whenever you go to RecPak's website and check out what they have. Again, they have 3 different flavors right now. Joy, do you have any other flavors in the lineup? Maybe next year?
People keep asking that, and right now we're perfecting our formula, making a smooth consistency, and trying to just establish quality over quantity. So currently not, but
fair.
we'll see what happens.
Love to hear that.
Either way, I'd also love to hear everybody's favorite flavors once you get them too.
Yeah, thanks so much for the call to action. If you enjoyed listening to me ramble, it's me indeed behind any email and any screen. So whether you want to reach out to Joy at recpak.co or just comment on Instagram or Facebook, we're gonna see it because it's our small project that we're building.
Which is
we
amazing.
Love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for being such big fans. I really appreciate finding people that believe in the product so much. It does mean a lot and gives us a lot of energy to, ride the wave, the entrepreneurship wave out.
Good.
But seriously, though, we love the fact that y'all are vet owned. You give 1% back. You really try and cater to what the outdoor enthusiasts need and what they want, whether they know they need it or not sometimes. Yeah. So really, thank you for that. So go check out their website, 25% off with Adventure 25 code. Should we do a tee up for it? We got to do our thank yous.
Well, yes. Thank you, AJ, for editing this episode. If you guys have any thoughts, any questions for Joy, any questions for RecPak, any questions for us, you can email us at yetiwalksintobasecamp@gmail.com. Also, please like and subscribe if you enjoy what you're listening to. We always love to hear from you guys whenever you have any stories that you want to tell us, any thoughts, anything you want to hear, any episodes you want to hear, any interviews. We just love hearing from you guys. And
I actually have a question for you, Joy.
Sorry.
What advice do you have for anyone who might be hesitant to get out into the backcountry and spend a few nights camping and backpacking?
That's a really good question. I would find someone to do it with. I think half of the element is being and just watching the sunlight and sunrise. It's a phenomenal experience to move throughout the day with all levels of the sun shining on the mountains. And then part of it is just an incredible classroom to get away from all social norms and barriers and get to know someone real well. So find someone you really enjoy and just start car camping next to a lake so you can wake up and swim and go to bed swim, and little steps are awesome. There's also clubs, and then I do think there's so many programs, whether that's an education program like Knowles, or there's a ton of women's backpacking and initiatives and glamping opportunities that you can do to just get your toes in the door so it doesn't have to be a big scary barrier.
I think that's sage advice. Thanks for that.
Yeah, of course. And feel free to reach out to RecPak anytime if you need support.
I love that.
Yeah. Last few thank yous. Thank you to the Fire Went Sauce for letting us use your track. It's called Appalachian Trail. We use that for our intro and our outro music. Thanks, AJ, for editing this episode. And for all of our team, we really appreciate everything you do. So whenever I'm out in the Arctic Circle somewhere, hiking on a glacier, probably a little bit ill-prepared, and I'm in need of some Knowles-trained individual to come and save my life, I'll be sitting there lying in the fetal position on the glacier, sipping on my RecPak, trying to survive with all the nutrients and vitamins and minerals that are inside the cute little package. And then I'll see Joy. Joy will just be coming along, happy as a clam, with her sled of supplies. And I would hope that she doesn't hike by me and say, Happy trails.